Hello Earth, welcome to episode 10 of season 4 of Making Cell, a series of videos where I record myself designing and implementing a programming environment called Cell. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, I recommend you go check out the project at github.com/autocornell/cell. Link is in the description. So, where were we? Yesterday we were finishing copying our tests, well, not copying, moving them from the old format, which is in JavaScript and is much harder to read, to what I think is a much nicer way of writing them, which is in for data itself and in for text. And working a bit earlier today, I had, I think, what's a very good idea, which is a way to rethink cell put, which I will briefly describe it here, but I'm very happy with it. So I just never really like this P and V, setting path and then value input to basically distinguish what's called usually the left side and the right side of an assignment, where the left side is where and the right side is what goes in the where, because this whole concept about path is that what and where are the same thing, really. And paths take you to a value, but they're also values themselves, and values are also places. So value and place make each other in this way of thinking data. Concretely, then what I thought is, what if we just don't pass any P or V? Because the triggering thought for all of this was, this P versus V is only useful if you're trying to override, but if you're just trying to merge into an existing hash, for example, you don't have to pass the path. You just give me the whole thing you want to put in, and I just put it. So look at this example. Oh, sorry, I have to sneeze. Let me mute myself. Good. So let's say you have this. Have a hash list, and this is a text. So well, hash list text, two texts in two paths. So if you just do a put here without P or V, to say I want to add this path and this path, you can actually sum these paths in here and it will just work. And if you do something like this, you're replacing one of the paths. And if you want to, let's say, replace, say serial lab 1, I'm expecting this to be replaced, this whole thing. So I was reaching a type inconsistency, but what I realized is if we're changing the type, that's a way to override the whole thing. Instead of getting an error, I just want to delete the whole thing. If the type is different, I just override. Otherwise, I just merge it into what is there. So yes, the change of type will override whatever we need to override. No need to pass P or V. I don't need to wipe things to be sure that you overrode whatever you were setting. If you want to wipe explicitly, of course, then you wipe. And then this also gives us multi-put, because you can send multiple things. And I really like this. Here also I came up with some terminology. Path is a list of steps. Then the prefix is the left part of one or more paths. N path can share a prefix. The value is the value of a prefix is a set of paths that are to the right of one prefix with the prefixes removed. That's a very good definition of value. Key is the last step of a prefix, and then the type of a prefix is the type of the value of that prefix. Yeah. And these are other things that are not as important, at least not at this moment. So here's my plan of attack. Finish porting the tests to test40x. Change get and put to use a single hook. and change put to, actually I'm tempted first to change put to not use P or V. That will be awesome. And then we'll just change get and put to use a single hook, and then we basically make fizzbuzz work. Yeah, it is a good plan. Let's finish this. This shouldn't work, right? Yeah. Although the error is interesting. What does it call? I'm just putting can do it like this. Ref invalid one, and then invalid is what is do. And then we just basically get this. It would be invalid equal error. And then reference add, sorry, invalid one, right? Yeah. Brilliant. This is a good note I can make here. Invoke a sequence that is invalid. Nice. No message, no step. And then if I go here, I would set invalid to at least with one. Then if I get everything, no message name And the error is and it has to be, sorry, yes. Can you spot the difference? Yes, I can. Yeah, that's what should be there. This is beautiful. Name of the message cannot be SEQ. Wait, is it SEQ? Yeah, but it should really be do, right? Yeah, we need to rename that to do. Why not? We really need this rule. What's wrong with SEQ? What's so special? Because I saved everything there. Yeah. Okay, let's leave it there for now until we rewrite things, but it should probably do. Yeah, because I have to put it in the hash. I'm still not happy with that. I'm not happy with having the hash and then with the colon and then the list that has to be inside, because a sequence is really a list. Happy with how I'm structuring sequences. Sequence really is a list. I'm almost thinking of making it by default that the first step of any sequence is to set the message to a value, and every step comes after that. The question is, how do we reference this? Or more precisely, where? Have at with the definition equals with the result. So if you have if colon is a list, you could do something like put message value and then the put would be with a dot. This is a great song. Great song. This might be much cleaner, right? And then, no, but the problem is that you're just putting things here. So you're really putting it where? In one. And then you cannot access it. You cannot put it in column because if you do this, you cannot put message in column because it is a list. Yeah. Where is the space for the sequence to share data inside of it? It has to be a column. Therefore, we need something like do better than sequence inside column. Okay, at least I'm more sure about what we have except for the little name. Okay, good, because that's what's coming next. So make sure that what we have in sequence works well. This change input is fantastic, and I think it will work well. I have to see how I implement it, but where am I? Yeah, I need to implement this test. Didn't. Sorry. All right. The tests are not passing out from above. So I'm deleting things a bit uncleanly. Are we at 100 lines yet? Yes, less than 100. Yes. Mark the date. Yeah, this is a nice test, guys. Multiple message names. Oh, it worked. It's working. So you're setting it to a number 2. Sure. So close. Why didn't you consider it to be invalid? Why is it? Is it because it has thing in it? Yeah. Why? And if I do this, why doesn't it consider it to be 1? So all the ones are this. Because I'm not absorting. You have the whole thing, right? With yes. Wait, am I not overwriting the whole thing? Yeah, I'm getting absurd here, so I need to wipe. Ah, no, but I cannot wipe. Wait, actually, what's going on here? It has one, another. That do. Sorry, I need to do it afterwards. Yes, see how these do this two thing. But I wonder if I wipe first. It will still be the same thing, so it's not an issue with wiping. Yeah, I think it's an artifact of how right? That's an interesting artifact. Yeah, why? I think it comes from here. In JS to paths. Yes, see how this is already there. It will be, what I'm looking for is not this one. It's text to JS. No, it's text to paths. The problem is I'm already parsing this whole thing. If I do something like yeah, I guess if I have something undefined there. I wonder if that's gonna happen as well. The problem is I'm parsing it like paths, like JavaScript. And I should do it like paths, right? If I do it like paths, then it's a bit of a pain to handle it. Problem with sparse lists in the test suite. If I give it to cell to text2.js, like I do, parse arrays lists become undefined, and then I don't have the missing elements. An option is to ignore undefined when building list. This could work. I could do something like this. And here I can say okay, this seems to work now. I think that's a good improvement. But I need to add to the test suite higher up, JS. CJS is, yeah, so I always have something like no. Doesn't it look the same? Yeah. Yeah, I think we need to compare things as stringified, right? Okay. Contrast to something like can do that, right? Nice. So now I have support for the sparse arrays here. I need to do it the other way around, right? Yes, I do. No, there's no sparse list in JSON. We cannot send it. All right, we improved something there. Yeah, and I think JS2 paths is not annotated. Nope. To represent sparse arrays. All right, and now yes, back to where we were. Nice. Good that we didn't sweep that under the rug. And this one jumps over, which we also need here. Dun, 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 dun. Skips one step. What am I doing? Why am I editing the other one? I was sitting. Skips one step. These days, one of these days. Brilliant. 11 is plus 110, and this is a nice example. With this one I bootstrap the sequence. Int one of these so that will be 10 plus 1. Enough is enough. One of these so not bad. Yes, it is. Equal 11. Yeah, sorry, this one. It wasn't enough. I need to make it in a single line, but that's okay, I can do it a bit later. One of these says it is. It wasn't enough. What? So I think it would have been faster if I just had done this by hand. Yeah, that's of course, this is all indented. Yeah, would definitely have been quicker to actually think than to copy. Good lesson. All right. hurry again. Yes, it wasn't enough. So same as before. It would be nicer when I'm able to do 2 and then add ints like that. Thinking of the commas as well. This is 12. Oh, look at that beauty. Or not. Yeah, it is working. But why is the tag not... yeah, it's updating. It's just so different I didn't even see it. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Wow, we're almost there. I'll get rid of this in anticipation. Yes, today, 16th of December 2025, we finished porting the tests. And I think cell will be about 1,000 lines. And these text files are going to be over 1,000 now. I wonder if it would be a good balance at tests and code take the same space. Does it make sense? Perhaps it does. Interesting question. I'll write down with the porting of the tests. So it's about 1K lines and the tests are about 1.3K. I wonder if it will be a long term of good cell systems that their implementations, that the implementation and the test suite takes roughly the same amount of paths. It will be 11. You want it to be nested plus 110, and then nested plus 1. You want it to be this looks like a dumb version of APL. Yes. He asked me, what did you do in 2025? Yeah, I was just came up with a strange looking dumb version of APL. What did you do in 2025? I hope you put it to better use than I did. If I cannot make grim jokes here, where can I make them? I just put an okay here because I don't know what the hell to expect, kind of. Yes, the whole thing blowing up, of course. What did I do? Well, for sure, it's the same thing that's affecting our dear fizzbuzz here. I started by wiping, okay. Sound policy. Now it will work. Yes. I expect 11 to have a... Yeah. Maybe we can switch the song, but we're almost done. Yes. Speaking of things that happened in 2025. Ooh. What is the problem here? Cannot mix. What did I break? Yeah, because int is supposed. Dun, 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 dun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, how the hell did this ever work? Well, int has to be defined in any case. Wait, how is it nested? Yeah, there's no int here, right? Yeah, there isn't. How the hell this worked? It's definitely working. Yeah, look at that. Maybe it's the order in which I said things. Yes, because I do it in two separate calls. Ah, silly. Wait, I need to do add though. See, that was the whole problem. so it's basically 11 equals to, and this is the definition. Something very interesting from this example is that I don't see the expansion here anywhere, right? Yeah, what did I break? Yeah, what did I have put here? I'm just doing stupid shit. More than usual, that's why it's not working. Yeah. Yeah, that's the expansion. Of course, there had to be an expansion. Come on. It would be what? Int is 10. Well. 3 ends for minutes. Oh yeah. One time in the west. 2 int 1. The peacekeeping call. Call to the sequence with where do I see 2 steps here? At. Yeah. Two steps long sounds better. And the last one. I am gonna celebrate. Call yeah, I don't need that, of course. That's why I'm writing these tests. Oh yeah. Once upon a time in the west. Oh yeah. Once upon a time in the west. Yeah. Oh yeah. In the west. Oh, a sequence with a message that is a hash. Yes, that's a much better way to say it than two paths. It's impressive how big the definition gets, though, I have to say. Well, not the definition, the data space. It will be R1, foo2. Say what they mean. Then we're done. Communication. Communicate. Boom. And cut should be a return, right? This can't just go here. Communication. And we're done. Only 2 seconds to run the test. It still takes what? 80 lines to run the test here. Honestly, we can do something like this. Brilliant. Nice. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop here. Thank you for watching.